Dave, what was the tipping point for you to leave California? Like, if you were to say, the tipping point was 5 years ago, but I finally made a decision today, or was it like COVID, I'm done, I'm sick of it, let's start looking at different places, and then you looked at Tennessee, Texas, and Florida, and you said, I'm going to go to Florida. What was it?
So I moved to L.A. in 2013. We had about $1,000.
From New York, or where were you?
From New York. So I'm a true New Yorker, born in Brooklyn, grew up in Long Island. I went to SUNY Binghamton. I lived in Manhattan most of my life. So really the only two places as an adult that I've lived until these last 3 months were New York City and LA. And yet the ideas that I talk about are the stuff that people care about in the middle of the country. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I had these two coasts, and somehow my ideas kind of came to the middle.
And when you moved from New York to LA, did you come with that New York, coastal ideology to LA?
Oh yeah, I was a lefty. I worked for the Young Turks. I was a Bernie supporter. All of that. All that stuff. It's true. All of it, as Han Solo said. Yeah, it was all true. But there were a couple moments. I mean, look, the 2 years of COVID demolished Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a shell of itself. Hollywood has been destroyed. Okay, so I could do all the basic stuff, the crime, the homelessness, the drugs. I'll tell you what the final moment was, the final straw. And I had been thinking about it for about a year, back and forth. Could I do it? Where was I going to go? Nashville, Dallas, et cetera. I campaigned with Larry Elder for the recall, so I was opening on stage with him and going out there and meeting people, and it was amazing. It was incredible. They called him the black face of white supremacy. That's what the LA Times
article, yeah.
Which felt like an Onion headline, by the way, or a Babylon Bee headline.
Onion isn't even that good.
The young woman who threw an egg at him in the gorilla mask. I thought always
somehow the media didn't pick that one up. It's like it was just extraordinary. Anyway, I'm out there with this guy, and there was such energy. I met so many good people. They were not far right. They weren't even conservatives. Most of them were liberals. They were California liberals who were mugged by reality. They were just good, decent people who suddenly their restaurants were closed, their kids were locked down, all of this stuff. Anyway, the recall obviously was a disaster. And 3 days after the recall, you want the exact moment? Your mind is going to explode. 3 days after the recall, I got audited by the state.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I said, we are
leaving.
leaving.
Have you ever been audited before?
I've never been audited before. My stuff's all clean. It was all fine. Yeah. We take very good care of all my businesses. 3 days after, got that immediately. Like literally, I think I hung up the phone and I called my real estate agent. I said, get me out of here. And we did the house privately. I was sold it in 3 weeks, basically. And then I had to really quickly figure out. I always felt that it was going to be Florida. But I love the Blaze guys, and I do some stuff with them, and Glenn Beck, and Glenn really wanted me in Dallas, so I had a little moment of that. I love the Daily Wire guys and Candace and Ben, and so I did look at one house in Nashville, but I am so happy to be here, and I'm really, like, as I said, I'm reborn here. You feel it here in Florida. It's free and it's good.
You said something prior to shooting. You said, I love Florida. I don't. You can curse if you want.
Yeah. There was an F in there. I effing love Florida. It's not just the politics of it that's good. It's what it's doing to the people. I don't know when the last time you guys just went back to New York or went to Cali or just went to some of these blue cities.
He's from Cali. And
I know. So, but I don't know. Have you been there just in the last couple months? I went to L.A. to shoot a PragerU video about a month ago. I said to my guys, I will fly in, go to the studio, and get me the hell out of there. Even though the PragerU studio is a half mile from my house, I guess it would have been nice to go look at it again or something. It was a disaster. I got asked for a vaccine passport to go to Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf.
That makes sense.
Just everything about it. It's rotten. And then even just the greenery. The greenery in Florida is beautiful and wonderful, in the trees. And then you go to L.A. and everything's dying and dead and brown. It's
What the hell happened?
Am I being clear about this? I'm very happy here, and I don't like that place.
And by the way, what was the reasoning why you chose Florida over Dallas and Nashville?
It's partly, I think, because of first off, I have some family here, and we hadn't been in a state with family for a long time. I'm from New York, as I said, so most of my family is East Coast. Makes sense. Folks have a place in Florida. My sister lives in Miami with her husband and kids. Also, because of the tech side of things, obviously Miami is just exploding right now in the tech world, so I wanted to be close to that. But at a political level, for me, as someone that came from the left and I have mostly libertarian views, but I don't mind calling myself a conservative now. There's a wide thing right now happening on the right. You got the disaffected lefties and the libertarians. Then you've got the, sort of evangelical or the Christian conservatives. There really is this movement of trying to figure out, can this thing really hold? because there are a lot of people that have different beliefs, serious beliefs that are very different. I felt the stuff that I care about the most, it's working here in Florida, meaning it's a little more of a secular conservatism as opposed to you go to Nashville or you go to Texas, it's a little more religious. That's not necessarily my thing. I felt that the ideas that I really care about can flourish a little bit more here. So it was a series of things. And, the weather is good and all that.